Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to State Listings Inc., the home of MyStateMLS. My name is Dave, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Going Back to School with MyStateMLS and the CE Shop. Today, we're going to be talking about what you need to know about getting your CE course credits, whether they're the credits to keep your license active for another year, or if we're going to go beyond those required CE credits and take a little deeper dive into some of the classes you can take to become a better real estate professional. And today we're going to be talking about whether you are a brand new agent or you're a seasoned vet. Because we know throughout our entire lives, whether it was our first day of kindergarten, all the way up till our high school graduation when we entered college, and even in our real estate careers, we know that going back to school teaches us the things that we need to know to become successful. And when it comes to being an agent, whether you're brand new or you've been in the business for over a decade, going back to school can certainly help you become a better asset to your customers and your clients. So as we go through today's presentation, there's a few things that we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about those brand new agents, those that are thinking about getting into real estate. What do they need to know before getting their license? What do they need to know about after getting their license? For those that are seasoned vets, they've been in the business for a while now. Can we teach those old dogs some new tricks with CE courses? We're going to talk about that as well. And then lastly, we know that everyone has to take CE to stay active. But what else can you do beyond typical CE? We're going to talk about some of the things that you can learn, other things to become a better real estate pro. So before we get started, I want to see who's with us today. And I just want to know, how long have you been licensed? So up on your screen right now is a quick poll. I want to know if you're not licensed yet, you've been licensed for just under a year, you've been in real estate for 2 to 5, 6 to 10, or you've been in the business for over a decade. So go ahead, click on your screen, cast your vote for that poll, and let me know how long you've been in the business. Awesome. We're going to close down that poll, and I'm going to actually go ahead and share the results with you right now. So you can see we've got every option selected. We have a few of you still not licensed yet, so you're just starting to explore the options of becoming a real estate professional. We have a handful of you that are still relatively new. You've been in the business for less than a year. About a quarter of you with us today have been in real estate for between 2 and 5 years. Again, a small handful in the business between 6 and 10. And I am actually very surprised, but actually very excited about this one. And that is more than half of you with us today have been in real estate for over a decade. So round of applause to all of you that have been in business for so long. And those that are still thinking about getting into real estate, welcome, because this is what you're going to want to know. And these are the things that you should know before you get into starting and launching that career in real estate. So we are only a few weeks into 2022, but now we're starting to see the numbers come in from last year. And in fact, by the end of last year in December 2021, there were more realtors than ever before. But that brings up the question as to why are people moving to a career in real estate? So according to the National Association of Realtors, it has been the largest it's ever been at the end of the year, with more than 1.55 million members. And that's up about 100,000 new realtors between that and the year before, because at the end of 2020, there was about 1.45 million members. So we can see that pretty big jump in just a matter of 365 days. So like I said, it brings up the question, why are people making that switch? So some of the biggest things that we've seen is either they did it out of necessity or they wanted a change. We know the past 2 years has been a little rough on a lot of different people because of COVID-19, the coronavirus. We've seen a lot of people lose their jobs due to downsizing or layoffs at their previous place of employment. Those people have been turning to real estate. We've also seen people that just want a change of pace, whether they wanted to switch careers or maybe they are coming off being a stay-at-home parent. We've seen a lot of people switch to being a real estate agent for a variety of reasons. And maybe that's the type of situation you're in. Maybe you fall in a different category that we're not covering today, but that's okay, because we still want to help you get licensed and still make sure you're keeping up with the required CE that you need to become a successful real estate agent. So before you get into real estate, before you get that license, before you start with a brokerage, before you meet with your first clients, your first customers, what do you need to know and what do you need to do to get licensed? So if you're considering getting into real estate, one of the first things you need to know is it's not instant. It's not like applying for a regular job where you just hand in an application, the boss looks at it and says, "Oh, congratulations, you're hired." When it comes to becoming a real estate agent, it's a process. And in some states, it can take up to 6 months. So it's definitely a long process. So if this is something that you're considering, you have to get started right away. But there is some benefits. There are some things that you can do to help speed up that process. Online learning has made getting a license easier than ever. And in fact, taking online courses can actually get you trained very, very quickly, depending on what state you're in. So I'm in New York, and here in New York, in order to become a real estate agent, you have to take 75 hours of courses. If you were to do that, maybe just 5 hours a day, or maybe you're not doing it every day, maybe you're only doing it 2 hours sporadically, that can certainly take some time. But if you took those 75 hours and you focused on it like a traditional workday and you did it 8 hours a day, you could essentially get your 75 hours of classwork done within 2 weeks. So online learning can certainly allow you to get licensed faster, but at the same time, you can also do it on your own time. So if maybe you're thinking about getting into real estate, but you have a current 9 to 5 job, maybe you're already doing something else, you can spend a couple hours in the evening, a couple hours in the morning, take your time to get licensed, take those classes you need. But again, you're not going to want to rush it because you need to remember everything you're learning, because there is a test at the end. In order to become licensed, you do have to take those state tests to make sure that you know all the rules and regulations that go into real estate transactions and dealing with customers and clients. And while we're keeping on the task of talking about those real estate classes, even though you may be taking those classes online, those tests, you may have to go to a physical location to take that exam. So a moment ago, we talked about why some people get into real estate. And one of those scenarios was they did it out of necessity because they lost their job. Let's take a look at Jessica Stone. She actually shared her story with the CE shop, and she lost her job in education last year. And she was getting her resume ready, and she was stopped by her cousin who's in real estate. And she said, "Why don't you try giving real estate a stab? See if you can become a successful real estate agent." And she said, "You know what? Maybe I will." And she had 2 kids at home, but she was able to take those classes online at her own pace. She was still able to tend to her family, spend time with her husband and her kids. And she said that possibly getting laid off may have been a blessing in disguise, because now she is loving her career in real estate. And she says, every day is different. No 2 days are the same. So this may be a very similar situation. If you're thinking about getting real estate, maybe this is very similar to your story. But now that you've taken all the classes, you've taken your test, you're licensed, what do you have to do to maintain your license? Well, to keep your license active year after year, you have to make sure that you keep up with your state's required CE courses. And why do we need to have CE? Why do we have to take these classes? Well, the thing is, real estate rules and regulations are always changing. So you need to make sure that you keep up with those rules to make sure you're following all those necessary laws and regulations for your state. Because if you didn't learn about them, you may not know about them. That could lead to more problems down the road because you advertise something the wrong way. It can just lead to a lot of different problems. That's why it's important to keep current with that required CE, because if not, not only could you get in trouble, you might be prevented from practicing real estate, or depending on your state rules, your license could be terminated. What does that mean? It might mean you have to go all the way back from the beginning. It's not simple like just taking the CE late. It might be starting all the way back over and having to take all of those 75 hours of classes again, essentially starting from scratch. So it's very important that you keep your continuing ed credits up to date and getting those done as soon as possible. Another great benefit of CE courses and those CE credits is it helps you become the best version of yourself. So whether you're a brand new agent still learning the ropes, or you're like some of those 10-year veterans that are with us today, taking CE courses can definitely help you become the best agent to your clients and customers. And how can we do that? Well, we go beyond the bare minimum. Sure, taking those 2 or 3 required state CE courses is enough to keep your license active, but is it enough to keep you at the top of your game, to make sure you're the best agent for your clients and customers. By taking those supplemental CE classes, you can learn new skills and new things about how to become a better professional. And that's just going to reflect on your day-to-day business, working with those clients and customers. We'll dive into some of the classes that you can take in just a few minutes. But some of the things that you should really focus on if your state has them is different courses on how to recognize and avoid fair housing violations, learn about ethics and real estate, and then, of course, how to handle specific niche customers. These are three big aspects that anyone in real estate should really think about, especially with those fair housing violations and ethics in real estate. Those are two big ones. But if you're a newer agent, one of the things that we like to teach here is find your niche market. Find that customer base that you are very successful in, whether it's older homeowners that are looking to downsize and move into a smaller home. Maybe you're working with the newest generation of homeowners. We know that millennials make up the largest portion of home buyers right now. We know that we've got people in their 20s starting to get into the market. Are you good with the younger generation? Are you better with the older generation? Being able to handle specific niche markets and learning how about these niche markets could certainly help you in your real estate career. And aside from CE, let's just focus on the benefits of online learning. We talked about that CE is required to keep your license active, but being able to easily get your CE online has its benefits as well. If you've been an agent and you've been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years, but you've always dreamed of starting your own brokerage, going off on your own, being your own boss, taking those online classes and those pre-licensing classes can help you become a managing broker down the road. Maybe you're thinking about moving or opening up a branch in a neighboring state. You can also take online courses to get your license in other states through license reciprocity. So maybe you're getting older and you say, you know what, I want to retire, or I want to half semi-retire. I want to stay where I am now, but I want to move south in the winter months, but I still want to work while I'm down there as well. Maybe you can get your license down in that other retirement area where you're looking through license reciprocity. Each state is going to be different with their rules and requirements for license reciprocity, but through online learning and the MyStateMLS CE shop, we can certainly help you navigate that process to make sure you get licensed as quickly and easily as possible. So like I said, how can you get educated and how can MyStateMLS help? Well, MyStateMLS has partnered with the CE shop, and we offer discounted CE courses for agents throughout the country from our CE shop storefront. So if you want to get to our MyStateMLS storefront, you can just head on over to www.mystatemls.theceshop.com. From there, you're going to be able to access all of the different tools, all of the different programs to help you get your CE courses, whether you're an agent, you're a broker, you want to become a broker, everything that you need to move forward in your real estate career in terms of your license and your CE is all here from the MyStateMLS CE shop storefront. So what I want to do is I just want to give you a quick tour of the MyStateMLS CE shop storefront. Like I said, you can get there anytime by going to mystatemls.theceshop.com. Here we've always got different promotions running. So not only are you already going to get discounted CE courses compared to a lot of different other sources for CE, especially those available in your state, you typically can get coupon codes for an even lower rate. So going through the MyStateMLS CE shop is a great way for you to get your CE at a very low price. So for those that are joining us today that are not licensed yet, you're still toying with the idea of getting into real estate, you can see we have some options here where you can go ahead and get your license. Again, I'm going to use New York as an example just because that's where I am. I can select on New York. And not only is this just going to give me some basic information about the CE shop and the classes I can take, here's the information that I need to know. So like I said, here in New York, there's 75 hours of pre-licensing that we need to take. And when we go ahead and go through the MyStateMLS CE shop storefront, we get a bunch of different options as to what kind of class packages we want to take. And they range in price from just over $200 to about $350, depending on the level of packages that I want. Going forward with that premium package, we can see that that has that 22.5 hour CE course included with it, because again, in order to keep your license active here in New York, you do have to keep up with those 22 hours of CE each year. Once you've decided that, now is the time to go, I can go ahead, add the work necessary to my cart, purchase it, ring out, and I can start taking my classes needed to become a real estate agent. Once I've taken all the classes that I need here from the CE shop, I would then just reach out to my state and determine what the next steps are, whether I need to go to a proctored exam, or if my state is still offering online tests, I can do that there. Once I've already been licensed, I have a bunch of other things that I can then do. Again, I can do my continuing ed, also from the top option here. Again, sticking with New York, and I'm just going to show you all the different options that New York has in terms of CE. So here in New York, we can see that they require 22.5 hours of CE, like I mentioned. There's 7.5 hours of required, and then 15 hours of elective. Add those two up, you get 22.5 hours of CE. From the MyStateMLS CE shop storefront, we can essentially buy bundled packages where we can get our 22.5 hour package complete with ethics courses for $135, or we could go ahead, just get our mandatory CE package and then go through some of the other topics as well. Earlier, I mentioned some of the hot button issues that lots of agents should be focusing on and learning about, including fair housing, ethics in real estate, and then how to navigate those niche markets. And we can see that New York does offer those. We can see we've got fair housing classes here at the top. Let's take a look. We can also see advocating for short sale clients. That would be great for niche markets as well. And just a whole long list of different options that we could go through in terms of New York CE. So New York definitely has a lot of different courses that you can take. Again, we have plenty of options as to how we buy those. We can either just buy the whole group at once for $135. We can also pick and choose where some of these classes we can see are as low as $9. So there's definitely a lot of classes we can pick up from the CE shop in terms of getting our CE. And again, if you want to take advantage of that, you can just go to MyStateMLS.theceshop.com to start getting your discounted CE credits now. And what's even great about the CE shop is coming very soon, they're actually going to be adding online learning for real estate appraisers and home inspectors as well. And what does that mean for you, someone that's already in the real estate business? Well, this could allow you to grow as a real estate professional. You may want to consider getting that license as a home inspector or a real estate appraiser. I've known brokers that do appraisals as well, because sometimes market can get slow, but appraisals are always happening. So even if you're not working on any listings, appraisals need to get done. If you're not active in real estate, becoming a home inspector is also a great way to earn additional income. So both these options there, great ways to earn additional income outside of your traditional transactions when working as a real estate agent. But not only would getting certified as an inspector or as an appraiser help you, and that's not just going to help you expand your business, but it's also going to allow you to offer more services to your clients and customers. It's also going to make you just a better real estate professional when you're working with your clients, with your customers. Let's say you're working with a customer, you're doing a tour of a house. We know since you're operating as the buyer's agent, you're not necessarily going to be able to be the home inspector. However, because you've been licensed as a home inspector, you still have the eye for some things that may not be up to code, things that need to be repaired before they even decide to move forward. Because typically what happens is that home inspection happens after the offer is put in. But if you've already got the knowledge and the know-how of a trained home inspector, you could potentially be saving your customers some money, because they're not going to put an offer on a house that you can already see has badly damaged foundation, where the roof is going to need to be replaced in a year, where the rafters in the attic are rotten. These are things that you can pick up on because you've taken those classes, you've become licensed as a home inspector. In addition to just taking online courses and taking those classes needed for real estate, you can also just go beyond real estate classes as well. So think about other ways that you can become a better real estate professional. Yes, we've talked about how CE is going to teach you about different things involving real estate. It's going to help you get licensed and maintain that license. But what else can you do to improve yourself as a business professional? I've said it so many times in so many different webinars that we should try to learn something new every single day. Well, how can we do that? Well, we can read books. We can take online college courses. We can take night classes. We know that our libraries or town halls will have like special night classes that you can take that last a few weeks. You can get certified in other specialties, or you could even find ways to incorporate your previous experiences or skills into your real estate business. So again, we said that some people are getting into real estate because they just wanted a change in careers. Maybe they took some time off. Maybe they just got sick of the 9-to-5 inside an office and wanted to have more flexibility so they could spend more time with their families. So they got into real estate. Whatever you learned in your past career, chances are you could apply something to what you do in real estate. But what I wanted to do is I just wanted to go back to my screen here. And two great websites that can help you get certified, teach you online classes is edx.org or edx.org. Here you can learn from different colleges across the entire country. This site became very popular during the initial outbreak of COVID-19 in the early 6 months of 2020. We saw a big boost in traffic on this site, as well as Coursera.org. These are two sites that allow you to get different types of certifications about different things. At one point, they were offering a lot of different free ones. You can get a professional certificate. This one I've seen a lot. I've been seeing Meta doing a lot of different courses. Again, this one you can see is free. And these will get you a certificate. And these are going to be things that you can either print out, put in a frame, hang it on the wall in your office. So that way, when you meet with potential clients and customers, it's going to show you that, hey, I've been certified in Facebook marketing and things like that, because that's something that you may need to know how to do when you put a listing on the market. So again, take online courses. A lot of them can be free. So you can do Coursera.org or edx.org, two great sites to teach you some things when it comes to anything, really. Skillshare is another great website as well. That's where you can take different classes about different things, everything from crocheting to business negotiations. It's all on there. So make sure you check out those websites as well. And lastly, before I let you all go and I let you out for recess, I just want to share a few last minute tips. The first thing is complete your required CE as soon as possible. If now is the slower season for you, go ahead and take those classes now. This way you can focus on your business throughout the year and you're not trying to rush in December, in November, trying to get those 22 hours of CE in. We said, do more than the bare minimum. Take those additional CE courses to become a better real estate pro. Take those other classes from the local college. Take those night courses. Go on Coursera. Take other classes to become a better pro. And then, of course, don't rush through those CE courses, because remember, you have to retain that information. So if you want to take your time with it, create a schedule and set goals. This way you can avoid procrastination. You can focus on the task at hand. You're going to say, all right, this is when I'm going to do my CE. This way you're not trying to multitask. Your attention's not getting drifted off into something else. You're focusing on your CE because you said, this is when I'm doing it. This is my goal, and get it done. So before we head out, one last question for you all, and that is, have you started taking your required CE for the year? Up on your screen is your poll. You can go ahead and click that now. Let me know, have you started taking your CE courses for the year? And this one I'm actually very interested to see, because again, we're only a few weeks into the year. Are you keeping up on it? Did you want to get it out of the way? Let's take a look. So wow, almost split down the middle, 50-50. 45% of you said yes, you've already started taking your CE. 55% of you said no, you have not. So bravo to all of you that have started your CE. For those that haven't started yet, I've got some good news for you, and that is start taking advantage of that discounted CE now at the MyStateMLS CE shop storefront. Again, if you want to get that discounted CE, head on over to www.mystatemls.theceshop.com. Start browsing, find your state, select the classes you want. Again, discounted prices already on there. Plus, you're going to be able to get promo codes on the site as well. So if you need to take those CE courses, be sure to log on to mystatemls.theceshop.com and start taking your CE courses now. Because like we said, it's better to get them done now rather than later, so you're not rushing around. You can take your time, pace yourself out, and become the best version of you as possible. But for now, class is now out of session. It is time for recess. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at dave@mystatemls.com. Until then, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.